Well, collaboration sounds wonderful, and in a perfect world, all parties would come to the table with healthy self-esteem and a willingness to collaborate, but we know that in real life that doesn't usually happen. So let's say there's a writer, sensitive, maybe a loner by nature, has to deal with a director that's a little more dominant, and the process is not so collaborative. What would you tell that screenwriter to keep themselves and the project still intact?
Okay, you want to start?
Yeah. One suggestion I would make, because I do this all the time when I'm working with clients or when I'm in a situation where a script is being developed and all of those people are in the room together, and that is when someone confronts you with an idea or an objection to something you've written, don't defend and don't try and argue it, ask questions. Questions are a very powerful tool in any aspect of collaboration, I think. But what you want to say to the director is, oh, so when did you start feeling this way? Or how do you see this character? Or what made you say that? Or try and get underneath the suggestion or the boneheaded comment, because whatever they're saying, the truth of it is they had a negative emotional reaction to something in your script. And if they did, somebody else might. So what you want to get at is, what was the core cause of that, and attack that and work that. And then suggest something that you think might accommodate their concern, but is different than what's already in the script. I don't think any good directors, some bad directors perhaps, but when I've been in those situations, nobody wants a writer who's going to be just a powder puff and cave at everything, but they don't want them to just dig in their heels and say, no, it's my way or the highway. They want someone who's going to be open to anything they say, maybe not agree with the specific solution of the problem, but jump in and say, okay, what can we do about this together? And I think questions will get to that.
That's good. I like that. Because I work mostly with directors, and directors run into a lot of obstacles, which can be producers or writers or actors. And when I say the obstacles, the resistance, because you're talking about when someone has resistance or is not available. My first thing is a little different than Michael's, although going along the same lines in a way, is realize that any resistance usually comes out of fear. There's a fear of something. And just be sensitive. Don't try to attack it. Don't try to, don't be the psychologist and try to deal with, but realize that that resistance, if you have an actor who's resisting or a writer, director working in the writer, and the writer says, no, I can't do that, I can't do that, doesn't mean they can't do it. There's some fear going on, fear that maybe you can't do it well, fear that it's going to destroy the film or whatever, and there's a lot of resistance. And then I say to directors who are working with writers, if you have a point of disagreement, let's say about a scene and what the scene is about, or whether even if the scene belongs, if you stay on the point of disagreement, this is similar to what I think is Michael's saying, you have a problem because somebody has to win and somebody has to lose, and you've got a real problem. Let's say it's a discussion of whether or not we even need this particular scene. My suggestion to the directors is go back to a point of agreement, which means get away from the point of disagreement, get away from the argument about this scene or this character or this moment. Go back to something that's more general. Okay, we agree that in this part of the journey, this is what the character's going through. This is where, yes, okay. And then move from a point of agreement towards the point of disagreement to find out where it starts to fall apart. And you may find out it's not that scene that's the problem, it was something before that you're both feeling. In other words, get out of the argument and get into a point of agreement and start to move towards the problem area.